This experiment is about capillary action. We need a stand, water basin, a strip each of newspaper, plastic, and tissue paper, 2 glass plates, 2 rubber bands, paper clips, cotton cord, capillary tube, narrow and wide mouth glass tube, glue ink, 2 empty beakers, and 1 beaker with water. The first experiment is about the rise of water through different things. We need a stand, a strip each of newspaper, plastic, and tissue paper, water basin, and beaker with water. What is capillary action? It is a rise of liquids like water through a small space or through a thing with many small holes. Use a magnifying glass to see these things more closely. Start with tissue paper. Notice the small holes in the tissue paper. This time, look at newspaper. Notice the small holes in the newspaper. Finally, look at plastic. Notice that there are no small holes in the plastic. What will happen if we dip these things in water? Let's try it. Set up the stand. Be careful with the small parts so that they will not get lost. Also, be careful of the metal rod so that you will not hurt yourself or others. Adjust the stand as needed. Cover the ends of the rod so that nobody will get hurt. After putting all the parts, adjust the stand so that the basin could fit in between. Get a tissue paper, newspaper, and plastic. Notice that they have the same length and width. Hang the tissue paper on the stand. Make sure that its end is almost touching the table. Use paper clip to hold it in place. Hang the plastic on the stand. Use paper clip to hold it in place. Hang the newspaper on the stand. Use paper clip to hold it in place. Check if all 3 strips have the same length. If not, fix them. Pour water into the basin until it is half full. Dip the strips in water. Make sure that the ends touch the water. Observe what happens. Notice that the water is rising, but it is hard to see. Add blue ink so that you can see the rising water more clearly. It is easier to see the water rising if it is mixed with blue ink. Get a flat surface like the back of a tray. Carefully remove the tissue paper from the stand. Lay it flat on the tray. Carefully remove the plastic from the stand. Lay it flat on the tray. Carefully remove the newspaper from the stand. Lay it flat on the tray. Set aside the stand and basin. Move the tray closer to you. Observe the 3 strips. Notice that water rose the greatest distance through tissue paper. Water did not rise through plastic. Water rose a short distance through newspaper. This means that capillary action was greatest in tissue paper followed by newspaper. Capillary action was not observed in plastic. The second experiment is about the rise of water through glass plate. We need glass plates, paper clips, rubber bands, and water basin. Get a glass plate and dip its end in water. Notice that water did not rise through the glass plate. Get 2 glass plates and tie a rubber band twice around them. Move the rubber band close to one side of the glass plates. Get another rubber band and tie it twice around the other side of the glass plates. Make sure that the space between the 2 glass plates is the same on both ends. Dip one end in water. Observe what happens. Look closely at this part. Notice that water did not rise straight. Observe how the water rises. The water rises because of the small space between the 2 glass plates. It is just hard to see the water because it has a light color. This time, put a paper clip between 2 glass plates. Make sure that the paper clip does not fall. Tie a rubber band twice around the glass plates. Move the rubber band close to one side of the glass plates. Get another rubber band and tie it twice around the other side of the glass plates. Observe the space between the glass plates. The space is bigger on the side with paper clip compared to the side without paper clip. Dip one end in water. Observe what happens. Compared to the glass plates without paper clip, it is easier to see the water rising when the paper clip is put between the glass plates. But the water rises more slowly on the side with paper clip compared to the side without a paper clip. Observe how the water rises. Notice that the water level is very different. It is highest here and then it goes down. It is higher where the glass plates are closer to each other and lower where the glass plates are farther from each other. This time, we will use glass tubes to observe the rise of water. We need a beaker with water, capillary tube, narrow mouth, and wide mouth glass tube. These tubes have different diameters. Dip them in water. Be careful when handling these tubes so that you will not get hurt. Make sure that the end of each tube is almost touching the bottom of the beaker. Observe how the water rises. Notice that water rose the greatest distance through capillary tube, followed by the narrow mouth glass tube, and finally the wide mouth glass tube. This means that the narrower the tube, the higher the rise in water. The last experiment is about water passing through cotton cord. We need a beaker with water, cotton cord, empty beaker, and blue ink. Get the blue ink and put a few drops on water to better see the water pass through the cord. Dip one end of the cord in the beaker with water and the other end in the empty beaker. Elevate the beaker with water by putting it on top of a basin. Observe what happens, especially in this end of the cord. Water moved from the beaker with water to the beaker without water. If you go on a long trip and no one is left at home, you can make one like this to water the plants. Notice that the cord is wet. There is also water in this beaker that started out empty. This means that water moved from this beaker to this beaker. You can put both beakers at the same height. You will get the same results, but water will move slower.